Hello friends, I welcome all of you in my YouTube channel. So today we are going to discuss about COVID-19 diagnosis by RT-PCR. So let me introduce myself. Myself Vinayak Pisutar, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, Deshbhakta Anandrao Balwantrao Naik Arts and Science College, Chikhli, Taluka Shirala District, Sangli. So let's start the presentation. So the first question arises in the mind is, what is PCR? So PCR is going to stands for polymerase chain reaction, and it is generally used for the detection of nucleic acid, and it detects the nucleic acid generally by amplifying it. We know all the living things have the genetic material. Most of the living organisms have DNA as its genetic material. It may include the algae, fungi, bacteria, plants and animals. But in case of some viruses, they have either DNA or either RNA as a genetic material. In the DNA, there is also again the two options are available. Some viruses may have the double-stranded DNA, or some viruses may have the single-stranded DNA. The well-known coronavirus responsible for COVID-19 contains the RNA as its genetic material. And this genetic material, whatever it may be, the DNA or it may be the RNA, in case of all living things, is going to control all the activity of the cell. In the PCR, what we are going to detect? We are going to detect such genetic material, it may be DNA or it may be RNA, in the sample. And it generally relies on amplification of that particular genetic material. Because the quantity of the genetic material obtained from any cell is quite low, can't be detected, and we require a specific detection of the genetic material or the segment of the genetic material, it may be a gene, for the identification. Let's see the steps involved in the PCR. The PCR mainly includes 3 steps: denaturation, annealing and extension. But there is one more step involved here, is initialization. And this step is required for the DNA polymerase, and it is carried out at 94 to 96 degrees centigrade for 1 to 9 minutes. The 3 main steps involved in the PCR are denaturation, where the double-stranded DNA is converted or separated into a single-stranded DNA, and second one is the annealing, where the specific primers are used, and third one is the extension, where the actual DNA application takes place, are carried out number of times, and together these 3 constitutes a single cycle. We are going to discuss them in very details. Let's see, first is the denaturation step, and this is the first step in the PCR cycle, and it consists of separation or melting of a DNA into a single stranded. Because the DNA is double-stranded, before it get amplified, it has to be converted into a single stranded, and for that purpose the temperature of 94 to 98 degrees centigrade is used for 20 to 30 seconds. And at this temperature, the hydrogen bonds present between these 2 strands of the DNA get broken down, and the double-stranded DNA is converted into a single-stranded DNA. Next one and second step is the annealing step. This step is carried out at 50 to 65 degrees centigrade for 20 to 40 seconds, where specific primers are allowed to stick at the particular region of the DNA. The primers are very specific in their action, and these are going to bind at particular region of the DNA and bring its amplification. because the primers have a specific nucleotide sequence complementary to that target DNA to be amplified. Then the next and last stage involved in the PCR is extension or elongation step. This stage is carried out at 72 degrees centigrade by using a special DNA polymerase enzyme, Taq polymerase. This polymerase brings the synthesis of new DNA strands by adding free nucleotides to the 3' or free end of primer, and as a result the new DNA strands are synthesized in this step. All these three steps, that is the denaturation, annealing and elongation, together they constitutes a single cycle. So each cycle, at the end of each cycle, we are going to amplify the original DNA. So at the end of first cycle, as that of shown here, the single DNA molecule is amplified to form a 2 DNA molecule. In PCR machine, the number of cycles are carried out to amplify the DNA. Generally 24 to 30 cycles, amplification cycles, are carried out in PCR to bring the huge amplification of the DNA. So at the end of 30 cycle amplification, we are going to get 10⁹ copies of original DNA. So it is quite a huge amplification results in the PCR. And in the conventional PCR, whether the DNA is amplified or not is checked by gel electrophoresis, and for that purpose we require the reaction to be completed, and this aspect makes the real-time PCR different from this conventional PCR. So let's see how it is. What is real-time RT-PCR? So there are two words. It is the real-time, first one, and second one is the RT. So what is the real-time? So real-time refers here that we are getting the results of amplification during the reaction process. We need not to wait for the reaction to be complete, whether to check whether the DNA is amplified or not. And second one is the RT. It stands for reverse transcriptase, which is a unique enzyme generally used to convert the RNA into the DNA. Because the coronavirus contains the RNA as its genetic material, the RNA itself cannot be amplified unless and until it gets converted into a DNA, and it is carried out with the help of reverse transcriptase, which makes the RT-PCR different from conventional PCR, as we have discussed. So what are the test sample used? So nasal swabs or deep throat swabs are generally used as samples. The samples are collected from the deeper regions of nose or throat, where virus is supposed to be present during early stage of infection. Once the swabs are collected, they are transported through a special plastic tube containing a virus transporting medium, which will prevent the inactivation of virus during the transportation. And this transportation is carried out as early as possible at the lower temperatures. Once the samples arrives in the laboratory, how the detection is carried out? The first step involved in the detection is the isolation of viral RNA and its purification. As we are going to detect the viral genetic material in the sample, we have to isolate it from the virus. Once it gets isolated and purified, it is converted to a double-stranded DNA by using a special enzyme, reverse transcriptase. The DNA that is derived from the RNA is called as the complementary DNA. Once the complementary DNA is formed, its amplification is carried out in PCR machine through steps of denaturation, annealing, and extension. About 30 cycles are run into the PCR machines, which will result into the huge amplification of DNA. In this PCR, that is the RT-PCR, we are actually monitoring the amplification process simultaneously as the reaction proceeds. And for that purpose, we are using a special dye called as a fluorescent dye, Cyber Green. And this dye has the very unique property. It has the ability to bind a double-stranded DNA, and once it absorbs light of particular wavelength, it's going to show a fluorescence. So amplification going to directly result into an increase in fluorescence as there is increase in the concentration of double-stranded DNA. More and more number of the dye molecule will going to absorb to the DNA, and they will show the maximum or intense fluorescence. So the amplification is measured in terms of fluorescence here in a real time. For the samples containing the virus, the amplification of the DNA occurs and it will show the increase in fluorescence. So such samples are considered or declared positive. In case of virus-free samples which do not contain coronavirus, its genetic material, as it is not present, not get amplified, and as it not get amplified, there will not be an increase in fluorescence. So in such case, the samples are declared negative. So this is the diagram explaining how the real-time reverse transcriptive PCR or whole the diagnosis process is working. It is taken from the chemistry views. The stage includes the collection of the sample and its transportation to the media. Second stage includes the isolation and purification of viral genetic material from the virus particle and its conversion into a double-stranded DNA. This is the single-stranded RNA, the genetic material of the coronavirus, and this one is the double-stranded DNA obtained after the action of reverse transcriptase. Once we are going to obtain this double-stranded DNA, it is amplified with the help of specific primers, and so all of these, that is the viral DNA, the viral complementary DNA, primers, free nucleotides, Cyber Green, then tagged DNA polymerase, that is the DNA building enzyme, is added into a special tube, PCR tubes, and it is put into the PCR machine, and where the amplification is carried out. If the sample contains the virus, the amplification of viral DNA occurs, and as a result, more and more Cyber Green dye get absorbed to it, and as a result, it will show the increase in fluorescence with respect to number of cycles proceeds into the PCR machine. So at the end, we have a number of DNA molecules amplified, and as a result, it will show a maximum fluorescence. So in such case, the sample is treated as positive, and in case of negative results, there will be no increase in fluorescence because the sample do not have a viral DNA or viral genetic material, so there will not be amplification. The fluorescence will not increase beyond a certain point, so there will not be a progressive increase in fluorescence. So samples are treated as negative. So this is about real-time reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction used for diagnosis of COVID-19 virus. So thank you very much. These are some references used for preparation of this presentation. So thank you very much.